Hello students, welcome to the lecture on Enterprise Resource Planning, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Understand the definition and meaning of ERP, explain the supply chain ERP, discuss the optimized production technology, describe the e-commerce. Let's start with the concept of Enterprise Resource Planning. ERP is an acronym for Enterprise Resource Planning, but even its full name does not shed much light on what ERP is and what it does. For that, you need to think about all of the various processes that are essential to running a business, including inventory and order management, accounting, human resources, customer relationship management, CRM, and beyond. At its most basic level, ERP software integrates these various functions into one complete system to streamline processes and information across the entire organization. The term ERP was coined in 1990 by Gartner, but its roots date to the 1960s. Back then, the concept applied to inventory management and control in the manufacturing sector. Software engineers created programs to monitor inventory, reconcile balances, and report on status. By the 1970s, this had evolved into Material Requirements Planning (MRP) systems for scheduling production processes. Today, ERP has expanded to encompass business intelligence (BI) while also handling front office functions such as Salesforce automation (SFA), marketing automation, and e-commerce. With these product advancements and the success stories coming out of these systems, companies in a broad range of industries from wholesale distribution to e-commerce use ERP solutions. As a result, companies of all sizes and a wide range of industries are transitioning to cloud ERP systems. In fact, Forrester predicts that SaaS-based ERP adoption will rise 21% annually through 2015. Now we will discuss the definition and meaning of ERP in detail. Enterprise Resource Planning (ERP) is business management software that allows an organization to use a system of integrated applications to manage the business. ERP software integrates all facets of an operation, including product planning, development, manufacturing processes, sales, and marketing. Definition of Enterprise Resource Planning (ERP). A process by which a company, often a manufacturer, manages and integrates the important parts of its business. An ERP management information system integrates areas such as planning, purchasing, inventory, sales, marketing, finance, human resources, etc. ERP software typically consists of multiple enterprise software modules that are individually purchased based on what best meets the specific needs and technical capabilities of the organization. Each ERP module is focused on one area of business processes such as product development or marketing. Some of the more common ERP modules include those for product planning, material purchasing, inventory control, distribution, accounting, marketing, finance, and HR.
ERP makes businesses more efficient. It makes businesses more profitable, gets employees paid on time, lets management make smarter and more strategic decisions, and even gets your products to your customers. Sounds pretty cool, right? Okay, so now that we know that, what exactly is ERP? ERP is Enterprise Resource Planning. Easy enough. We can all go home happy. Unless, of course, you never got around to taking that course at school entitled Vague Business Terms that got shortened into authoritative acronyms to make them sound more credible. The reality is that ERP is an umbrella term for a very complicated type of software solutions. Sorry if you were looking for a simpler answer. Let's see if we could take a few minutes and introduce you to our new friend ERP and talk about how it could really help your business. So you wake up one morning with an idea for a new product. A good idea, maybe even a great idea. but your idea and a couple of bucks might get you a cup of coffee. What do? How do you make or get that idea turned into a product that customers like so much they want to give you money for it? You often start with making your idea into a design. When you start to design your product, you need to define it exactly, maybe even draw it out. ERP doesn't do that. What ERP does do is to help you start compiling a list of all the materials you'll need if you ever want to eventually build your product. While you go through the design process, ERP will let you estimate what making each unit will cost and how you decide to price it. Hopefully, your price exceeds your cost and you discover that this idea of yours might actually fly. Now you decide to transfer that design to manufacturing. No matter how pretty your design is, customers won't give you money for it, any more than they would for the bare idea. So now you have to make your two-dimensional idea into a three-dimensional product. ERP helps out here as well. It allows you to set up a supply chain, bringing all the necessary materials together to build your product. Vendors from all over can be accommodated by ERP, which can send them purchase orders for those materials. When the materials are ordered, a schedule for their delivery, shipment instructions, payment for these materials, and eventually their arrival and receipt can all be handled by our new friend ERP. These materials can even be identified in the warehouse using straight logistics, barcodes, or even radio frequency. ERP will handle all that for your business as well. Maybe your original idea was not to make or design your product, but buy it from somewhere else and distribute it into a new market. ERP doesn't mind. It will take care of you all the same, tracking your inventory of raw materials or bought goods for resale without showing any favoritism. While all this making or buying is going on, you've sent out a sales team to find those customers out there who desperately want to give you money in exchange for your brand new product. Their job is to get those orders rolling in. Your ERP will obviously take care of those orders, but can also keep track of the salespeople's territories and their commissions. And then the day arrives. Customers appear over the horizon, eagerly waiting to give your product a new home on their shelves. ERP will welcome those customers in and take all their information for them. It will help you keep track of all their many wants and needs, including the fact that they want your product to be customized just for them. And when they say, the check is in the mail, you could trust their credit for 30 days to the extent of $200,000. ERP accepts their orders and will automatically figure out what is needed to fulfill them, how long it will take, and what you should charge for those orders, including all the local sales tax deductions. In the case of really big and demanding customers, they're using something called EDI. An ERP will often include an electronic data interchange module as well. ERP will help you fulfill those orders. If you're in the distribution business, ERP will tell you how much inventory you have on hand, where it is physically sitting, and give your packers instructions on what to pick and put into the containers for those customers. ERP will arrange the shipments to get your product to your customer, fill in the paperwork for you, even the custom stuff to get it over national and international borders. ERP also determines what each of your packers get paid, writes the checks, and makes automatic deposits for them. If you actually manufacture the products you are selling, ERP will translate sales orders into detailed work orders, outlining each step of putting your product together. How much material it will take, the labor involved, quality assurance processes, and even what tools or machines are needed in the manufacturing. It will pay your production staff by the hour, or maybe by the work done, or even a mix of both. ERP knows what your team knows and makes sure that people are assigned to jobs that they are trained for. It will track where the finished goods go and how they eventually get put into containers to fulfill orders and then shipped, just like with distribution. All this information allows it to compile some pretty amazing reports and statistics, so management can make themselves look all-knowing with very little effort. That's part of their job description, right? A live dashboard of what is going on throughout the company is available so decisions can be made on an up-to-date informational basis. Not that running a business by the seat of your pants every day isn't exciting, but our friend ERP is a little vain and avoids getting gray hairs.
Need for enterprise resource planning. Why ERP? Separate systems were being maintained during 1960s-70 for traditional business functions like sales and marketing, finance, human resources, manufacturing, and supply chain management. These systems were often incongruent, hosted in different databases, and required batch updates. It was difficult to manage business processes across business functions. Example, procurement to pay and sales to cash functions. ERP system grew to replace the islands of information by integrating these traditional business functions. The successful implementation of an ERP system will have many advantages as business integration and improved data accuracy. ERP system is composed of various modules, sub-modules, where a module represents a particular business component. If data is entered in one module, such as receiving, it automatically updates other related modules such as accounts payable and inventory. This updating occurs at real time, that is, at the time a transaction occurs. Since data needs to be entered only once at the origin of transaction, the need of multiple entries of the same data is eliminated. Planning and MIS. The various decision support tools like planning engines and simulations functions form integral part of an ERP system which helps in proper utilization of resources like materials, human resources and tools. Constraint-based planning helps in drawing appropriate production schedules, thereby improving operation of plant and equipment. Improved efficiency and productivity. In addition to provision of improved planning, ERP system provides a tremendous boost to the efficiency of day-to-day and routine transactions such as order fulfillment, on-time shipment, vendor performance, quality management, invoice reconciliation, sales realization, and cash management. Cycle time is reduced for sales to cash and procurement to pay sequences. Establishment of standardized procedures. ERP system is based on the processes of international best practices which are adopted by the organizations during implementation. Department silos are purged and maverick practices are done away with. Because of top-down view available to management, chances of theft, fraud, and obsolescence are minimized. Flexibility and technology. Due to globalized environment where production units, distribution centers, and corporate offices reside in different countries, organizations need multi-currency, multi-language, and multi-accounting modes in an integrated manner. These provisions are available in most of the ERP systems, particularly in products offered by Tier 1 and Tier 2 vendors. ERP vendors are also quick to adopt latest technologies from mainframe to client server to internet. Now moving on to the next topic, we will discuss the supply chain ERP. Enterprise resource planning and supply chain management is a formal method to effectively plan all the resources in the business enterprise. Through the implementation of enterprise resource planning and supply chain management, manufacturing companies establish operating systems and operating performance measurements to enable them to manage business operations and meet business and financial objectives. An integrated enterprise resource planning ERP system can help manufacturers achieve the efficient and effective use of their manufacturing assets and provide customers with the visibility they need. In addition, an ERP system can provide a powerful opportunity for many manufacturers to gain critical insight and competitive advantage by taking them beyond simply managing internal business processes. There are 4 ways an integrated ERP system can help improve supply chain performance. Develop better customer insight and interaction. To build long-term relationships with customers today, you need to listen to and understand them. This requires that you maintain a holistic view of those customers. You can obtain such a broad spectrum view from a variety of data sources, including your supply chain systems, sales and marketing, customer service, and field service systems. Internal database information and knowledge gathered from unstructured interaction with customers. Achieve global visibility in a demand-driven supply chain. It is critical in an age of tight cost management that manufacturers optimize inventory investment and continue to provide excellent customer service. To do so, Manufacturers need to know where inventory is throughout the entire supply chain, which is information an ERP system can help to provide. Knowing when and where inventory is needed enables manufacturers to develop the best plan for production and resupply in critical customer relationships, building only what is required for shipments. Lean manufacturing, global sourcing, and supplier integration, managing to the lowest possible manufactured cost is essential. This means applying lean manufacturing practices and connecting to the best suppliers on a global basis. Today, lean operations are driving an increase in speed and response time for all supply chain participants. Unfortunately, for most manufacturers, the new lean business processes are not supported by their legacy systems and must be implemented as manual processes, which can defeat the information visibility crucial to state-of-the-art supply chains. Managing for higher performance. Executives know that measurement and performance are inextricably linked. Whole new metrics, key performance indicators, KPIs, and benchmarks can give advance warning of problems managers may face in their operation. The real power of these metrics comes when managers can quickly access real-time data that reflects the global domain of their operations. Done well, performance analytics can make manufacturers significantly more agile, an important consideration in today's very lean supply chains. Let's know the meaning of optimized production technology. Optimized production technology is proprietary scheduling system using computer software, which was originally developed by Dr. Eliyahu Gallodrat and colleagues, who recognized that one of the most complex problems facing manufacturing organizations was that of shop floor scheduling. The system is based on the concept that there are two fundamental manufacturing phenomena. Dependent events. All processes rely upon the completion of preceding operations. Statistical fluctuations. Process times fluctuate around an average. The effect of these phenomena is that the capacity of a plant must be unbalanced and therefore bottlenecks are inevitable. As defined by Johnson, the OPT method of scheduling dictates that material should only be launched onto the shop floor at the rate at which it is consumed by the bottleneck. Furthermore, a time buffer of work should protect the production in the bottleneck. This means that work scheduled for day 3 arrives on day 1, creating a buffer of 2 days as protection against disruption in operations before the bottleneck. Main features of OPT. The main features of OPT are described by facts as follows. Balance flow, not capacity. The level of utilization of any part of the system, which is not a bottleneck, is optimized production technology dependent on other constraints in the system, not the potential of the worker. The utilization and activation of a resource are not synonymous. An hour lost at the bottleneck is an hour lost for the total system. An hour saved at a non-bottleneck is just a mirage. Bottlenecks govern both throughput and inventories. The transfer batch may not and many times should not be equal to the process batch. Developing OPT. The steps used to develop OPT consist of the following: preparation, measuring performance, project planning, and identifying hardware and software requirements. Plant analysis, analyzing the manufacturing processes and how they are managed. Bottleneck analysis. A bottleneck is defined as a resource where capacity is equal to or less than the demand being placed on it. This is conducted by analyzing work in progress and shortages versus excesses, Potential bottlenecks are those resources which appear on the shortage list but not the excess list. Computer modeling. This is the process of developing the engineering network and instructing the OPT scheduler how to interpret details concerning the manufacture of products such as dependent setups, critical material, fixed batch quantities, maximum batch quantities, consumable tools, rework and uninterruptible processes. Operating OPT. OPT is operated through OPT software which has been developed to control complex manufacturing processes. The software will model the process and produce the schedules in the shape of material and capacity plans using the OPT bottleneck forward loading techniques. The shop floor control system will then monitor progress against the schedule and initiate any action to overcome shortfalls. Benefits. The benefits for OPT are that it will schedule finite resources in order to achieve maximum factory effectiveness. The scheduling system addresses the key problem of bottlenecks, improves profitability by simultaneously increasing throughput, reduces inventory and operating expenses. You all are familiar with the word e-commerce. What actually it is? Electronic commerce or e-commerce refers to a wide range of online business activities for products and services. It also pertains to any form of business transaction in which the parties interact electronically rather than by physical exchanges or direct physical contact. E-commerce is usually associated with buying and selling over the internet or conducting any transaction involving the transfer of ownership or rights to use goods or services through a computer-mediated network. Is e-commerce the same as e-business? While some use e-commerce and e-business interchangeably, they are distinct concepts. In e-commerce, information and communications technology (ICT) is used in inter-business or inter-organizational transactions, transactions between and among firms, organizations, and in business-to-consumer transactions, transactions between firms, organizations, and individuals. In e-business, on the other hand, ICT is used to enhance one's business. It includes any process that a business organization, either a for-profit, governmental, or non-profit entity, conducts over a computer-mediated network. A more comprehensive definition of e-business is the transformation of an organization's processes to deliver additional customer value through the application of technologies, philosophies, and computing paradigm of the new economy. Three primary processes are enhanced in e-business. Production processes, which include procurement, ordering, and replenishment of stocks, processing of payments, electronic links with suppliers, and production control processes, among others. Customer-focused processes, which include promotional and marketing efforts, selling over the internet, processing of customers' purchase orders and payments, and customer support, among others. And internal management processes, which include employee services, training, internal information sharing, video conferencing, and recruiting. Electronic applications enhance information flow between production and sales forces to improve sales force productivity. Work group communications and electronic publishing of internal business information are likewise made more efficient. Is the internet economy synonymous with e-commerce and e-business? The internet economy is a broader concept than e-commerce and e-business. It includes e-commerce and e-business. The internet economy pertains to all economic activities using electronic networks as a medium for commerce or those activities involved in both building the networks linked to the internet and the purchase of application services such as the provision of enabling hardware and software and network equipment for web-based online retail and shopping malls or e-malls. It is made up of three major segments: physical ICT infrastructure, business infrastructure, and commerce. What are the different types of e-commerce? The major different types of e-commerce are business to business, B2B, business to consumer, B2C, business to government, B2G, consumer to consumer, C2C, and mobile commerce, M-commerce. B2B e-commerce. B2B e-commerce is simply defined as e-commerce between companies. This is the type of e-commerce that deals with relationships between and among businesses. About 80% of e-commerce is of this type, and most experts predict that B2B commerce will continue to grow faster than the B2C segment. The B2B market has two primary components: e-infrastructure and e-markets. E-restructure is the architecture of B2B, primarily consisting of the following: logistics, transportation, warehousing and distribution, example, Procter & Gamble. Application service providers, deployment, hosting and management of packaged software from a central facility, example, Oracle and Linkshare. Outsourcing of functions in the process of e-commerce such as web hosting, security and customer care solutions, auction solutions software for the operation and maintenance of real-time auctions in the internet. E-markets are simply defined as websites where buyers and sellers interact with each other and conduct transactions. The more common B2B examples and best practice models are IBM, Hewlett-Packard, HP, Cisco and Dell. Cisco, for instance, receives over 90% of its product orders over the internet. Most B2B applications are in the areas of supplier management, especially purchase order processing, inventory management, that is managing order ship bill cycles, distribution management, especially in the transmission of shipping documents, channel management, that is information dissemination on changes in operational conditions, and payment management, example, electronic payment systems or EPS. eMarketer projects an increase in the share of B2B e-commerce in total global commerce from 79.2% in 2000 to 87% in 2004, and a consequent decrease in the share of B2C e-commerce from 20.8% in 2000 to only 13% in 2004. Benefits of B2B e-commerce in developing markets. The impact of B2B markets on the economy of developing countries is evident in the following. Transaction costs. There are three cost areas that are significantly reduced through the conduct of B2B e-commerce. First is the reduction of search costs, as buyers need not go through multiple intermediaries to search for information about suppliers, products and prices as in a traditional supply chain. In terms of effort, time and money spent, the internet is a more efficient information channel than its traditional counterpart. In B2B markets, buyers and sellers are gathered together into a single online trading community, reducing search costs even further. Disintermediation. Through B2B e-markets, suppliers are able to interact and transact directly with buyers, thereby eliminating intermediaries and distributors. However, new forms of intermediaries are emerging. For instance, e-markets themselves can be considered as intermediaries because they come between suppliers and customers in the supply chain. Transparency in pricing. Among the more evident benefits of e-markets is the increase in price transparency. The gathering of a large number of buyers and sellers in a single e-market reveals market price information and transaction processing to participants. The Internet allows for the publication of information on a single purchase or transaction, making the information readily accessible and available to all members of the e-market. Increased price transparency has the effect of pulling down price differentials in the market. In this context, buyers are provided much more time to compare prices and make better buying decisions. Economies of scale and network effects. The rapid growth of B2B e-markets creates traditional supply-side, cost-based economies of scale. Furthermore, the bringing together of a significant number of buyers and sellers provides the demand-side economies of scale or network effects. Each additional incremental participant in the e-market creates value for all participants in the demand side. More participants form a critical mass, which is the key in attracting more users to an e-market. B2C e-commerce business to consumer, e-commerce or commerce between companies and consumers involves customers gathering information, purchasing physical goods, that is, tangibles such as books or consumer products, or information goods or goods of electronic material or digitized content such as software or e-books, and for information goods receiving products over an electronic network. It is the second largest and the earliest form of e-commerce. Its origins can be traced to online retailing or e-tailing. Thus, the more common B2C business models are the online retailing companies such as Amazon.com. What forces are fueling e-commerce? Economic forces. One of the most evident benefits of e-commerce is economic efficiency resulting from the reduction in communications cost, low-cost technological infrastructure, speedier and more economic electronic transactions with suppliers, lower global information sharing and advertising costs, and cheaper customer service alternatives. Economic integration is either external or internal. External integration refers to the electronic networking of corporations, suppliers, customers, clients, and independent contractors into one community communicating in a virtual environment with the Internet as medium. Market forces. Corporations are encouraged to use e-commerce in marketing and promotion to capture international markets, both big and small. The Internet is likewise used as a medium for enhanced customer service and support. It is a lot easier for companies to provide their target consumers with more detailed product and service information using the Internet. Technology forces. The development of ICT is a key factor in the growth of e-commerce. For instance, technological advances in digitizing content, compression, and the promotion of open systems technology have paved the way for the convergence of communication services into one single platform. Moreover, the principle of universal access can be made more achievable with convergence. At present, the high costs of installing landlines in sparsely populated rural areas is to disincentive to telecommunications companies to install telephones in these areas. Scope of e-commerce. E-commerce applications began in the early 1970s with such innovations as electronic transfer of funds. However, the applications were limited to large corporations and a few daring small businesses. Then came electronic data interchange (EDI), which added another kind of transaction processing and extended participation to all industries. Since the commercialization of the internet and the introduction of the web in the early 1990s, EC applications have rapidly expanded. The benefits of e-commerce to organizations: expands a company's marketplace to national and international markets. With minimal capital outlay, a company can quickly locate more customers, the best suppliers, and the most suitable business partners worldwide. Enables companies to procure material and services from other companies rapidly and at less cost. Shortens or even eliminates marketing distribution channels, making products cheaper and vendors' profits higher. Decreases by as much as 90% the cost of creating, processing, distributing, storing, and retrieving information by digitizing the process. To customer, frequently provides less expensive products and services by allowing consumers to conduct quick online comparisons. Gives consumers more choices than they could easily locate otherwise. Enables customers to shop or make other transactions 24 hours a day, from almost any location. Delivers relevant and detailed information in seconds to society. Enables individuals to work at home and to do less traveling, resulting in less road traffic and lower air pollution. Allows some merchandise to be sold at lower prices, thereby increasing people's standard of living. Limitations of e-commerce are: technical limitations, lack of universally accepted standards for quality, security, and reliability, insufficient telecommunications bandwidth, still evolving software development tools, difficulties in integrating the internet and EC software with some existing, especially legacy applications and databases. Non-technical limitations, lack of national and international government regulations and industry standards, lack of mature methodologies for measuring benefits of and justifying EC, many sellers and buyers waiting for EC to stabilize before they take part. Customer resistance to changing from a real to a virtual store. People do not yet.
On one bright and sunny morning, Johnny and Joey decide to start a business. They both had their own great ideas, so they went their own separate ways. Johnny decided to start a brick and mortar store to sell his products. He rented out a nice building at a nice location. He hired a couple of salespeople. He printed brochures and flyers and direct mail pieces. He advertised in the local newspapers. And within a few weeks, Johnny started seeing sales and a lot of local customers. Johnny was excited, but he had a very high overhead and a very low profit margin, so he decided to wait to see some growth. Joey, on the other hand, decided to start an online store to sell his products. Joey got a nice-looking website with a nice little name. He hired a content writer. He invested in online marketing and got some help with SEO and email marketing. He advertised on different websites and signed up for pay-per-click advertising. And within a few weeks, Joey started seeing sales and a lot of customers from all over the country. Joey was excited since he had very low overhead and a very high profit margin, and he could not wait to see some growth. A year passes by. Johnny was still in the same building with the same salespeople and the same marketing strategy and the same local customers. His overheads were still very high and his margins were still very low, so he decides to wait another year to see some growth. Joey moved to a new office, hired more people, and kept getting a lot of new and repeat customers from all over the country. his overheads were still very low and his margins were still very high. So he decides to start another online store to sell a different line of products. Another year passes by. And on one bright and sunny morning, Johnny and Joey meet again. Joey tells Johnny about his new marketing strategy. And Johnny realizes his mistakes. Traditional marketing can only get you so far. Think local, but act global. So this time, Johnny went back and fired his rusty salespeople and fired the old school ad agencies that did the brochures, flyers, and newspaper advertising for him. He hired a good web company and outsourced all his online marketing to them. And within a few weeks, Johnny was again a happy man to see increased profits and lower overheads. And needless to say, he was very thankful to Joey.
Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learnt in this lecture. The central feature of all ERP systems is a shared database that supports multiple functions used by different business units. Enterprise Resource Planning, ERP, is business management software that allows an organization to use a system of integrated applications to manage the business. Enterprise Resource Planning and Supply Chain Management is a formal method to effectively plan all the resources in the business enterprise. An integrated enterprise resource planning ERP system can help manufacturers achieve the efficient and effective use of their manufacturing assets and provide customers with the visibility they need. OPT is operated through OPT software, which has been developed to control complex manufacturing processes. Electronic commerce or e-commerce refers to a wide range of online business activities for products and services.